Have you ever noticed how one negative thought can spiral into hours of mental paralysis? That story you tell yourself about not being good enough, or about that one time somebody rejected you, or about being behind. It's not just affecting your mood. According to research, it's literally rewiring your brain for inaction. Crazy. My name is Herman-Saccio, and I am a master coach who has worked with more than 200,000 people over the last 35 years to empower them to break free from any and all limitations and actually live their dreams now, not someday, and be what I call unmessable with in the process, no matter what life is throwing at them. And today we're going to be unpacking one of the sneakiest blocks to effectiveness: the stories we tell ourselves. Not the facts, not reality, but the internal narrative that keeps us spinning or hesitating or playing small, doubting ourselves. So let me ask you something. Have you ever replayed a conversation over and over in your head, or beaten yourself up for a decision you made months ago? You're not alone. In 2021, a study in Frontiers Psychology found that the rumination and repetitive negative thinking dramatically increases emotional fatigue, procrastination, and even physical symptoms like insomnia or anxiety. But, here's what's really fascinating. It's not the past that's actually impacting you. It's the story you're dragging into the present. That's the thing that's impacting you and messing with you. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to break free from those mental loops and reclaim your freedom and power. You ready? Let's do it. So before we dive in, I have spent the last 3.5 decades working with high-achieving entrepreneurs and executives who have mastered money-making but feel stuck in cycles of overthinking and self-doubt. What I've discovered for myself is that the difference between those who stay stuck and those who actually break through isn't their circumstances. It's their relationship with their internal narrative. So let's break this down into 3 game-changing shifts that will transform the way you handle these mental blocks. So the first one is the reality versus the fiction divide. Okay, so here's the scenario. I see this all the time with my clients. You pitch a business idea and they say no. You get rejected, quote unquote. So the reality is they said no. The story is they didn't like me, I'm not good enough, that was my one shot, I'll never get another shot with them. So the story becomes the anchor, pulls us down. It's not the event. It's not someone saying no. That's the moment when we collapse those two things that we stop moving. We stop taking action because we're no longer reacting to facts. We're reacting to fiction. And this is where people get stuck. So if you experience being stuck, listen up. This distinction is crucial because research shows that when we can separate fact from interpretation, our brain actually shifts from emotional processing to logical reasoning. So the amygdala, your brain's fear center, calms down, and your prefrontal cortex, the strategic thinking part, lights up. So that's step 1, is separate the fact from the fiction. Then number 2 is the 3-step pattern interrupt. So how do you reclaim your freedom in those moments? So here is the exact process that I use myself and I use with my clients. So it works. It's been proven. Step 1, ask, what actually happened? What actually happened in reality? What were the facts? Not the adjectives, not the interpretations, not the shoulds or the shouldn'ts or the goods, bads, rights, wrongs. Just what is, what happened. For example, I sent a proposal, they said no thank you, right? That's it. No drama. No, they should have said, I should have known better. This process is backed, by the way, with cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, which shows that identifying and separating thoughts from facts is one of the fastest ways to reduce anxiety and increase performance. I mean, just think about that. Reduce anxiety and increase performance. That would be pretty useful, don't you think? In those messable with moments. So step 2 of that part of it is to identify the story. So what interpretation did you add? I'm behind, they don't like me, they don't respect me, I should have waited until the proposal was more perfect. So ask in this moment, right? Is this thought helping me or hurting me? Is it helping me move forward or is it keeping me stuck? Is it empowering or is it disempowering? That's the key distinction here. Helpful versus unhelpful. Empowering versus disempowering. Not true versus false. You're not looking at the lens of true and false. So the next step is to take action, right? Take the next best action. Instead of looping in what should have happened, what shouldn't have happened, what I should have done, what they should have done, ask yourself, what is the most effective action I can take when? Right now. Because that will put you into the world of creation and fulfillment. Results don't come from perfect decisions, as if there were perfect decisions. They come from actions. So even when things feel uncertain, taking action will provide certainty. According to Harvard Business Review, leaders who take imperfect but consistent action build more momentum than those who wait for the perfect moment. My perfectionists out there. Imperfect action is the answer. Then the next piece is the power of pattern recognition. Okay, what do I mean by that? Let's make this real. The next time you find yourself stuck in overthinking or regret or self-doubt, try this 3-part reflection, okay? Write down exactly what happened. No emotion, no shoulds, no goods, no bads, just the facts. Then in another column, write the story you added to it. The shoulds, the goods, the bads, the rights, the wrongs. And then ask this question, what is my next best action? It is simple, but it's going to take something to exercise this muscle. So a pro tip is writing it down actually helps because writing down your thoughts helps you access your prefrontal cortex. I know, like, I didn't know that. When I first learned that, I was like, oh my gosh. So writing down your thoughts actually activates your prefrontal cortex, which is the logical part of your brain. Instead of being ruled by your reactions or your emotions, you can, like, which is where the amygdala is, it's like a pattern interrupt, like a hack for your brain. So write it down. So an example of what you would write is the fact is I didn't finish the project by the time I had planned, right? By the deadline. The story is I'm falling behind and everyone else is doing better than me and I'm going to lose this account. The action, block an hour tomorrow in your calendar to redesign the plan. Simple, right? 1, 2, 3, simple. This is a path to developing your muscle to be unmessable with no matter what life is throwing at you, no matter what the circumstances are. It's easy to be unmessable with when things are going well, but when the stuff hits the fan, that's what we're talking about. That's when being unmessable with comes to play. So with this methodology, you can move from reaction, the amygdala, to creation, prefrontal cortex. And you can, listen, let's be clear. You're not weak for being in stories. That's what human beings do. That's what it is to be human beings. We've got stories about everything. We got stories about what happened. We got stories about what didn't happen. You don't get a phone call and you have a story about it. It's just your brain firing automatically. But you do not have to live inside of those stories. You can choose reality. You can choose action. And you, most importantly, can choose the world of creation. So vision-driven action is the antidote to regret, the medicine for being stuck, the opposite of shame, because action reclaims your power, and action is how you create what's next, rather than putting out fires because that's what life is throwing at you. Research actually shows that people who take small forward actions even amidst uncertainty, report a 34% higher sense of control and motivation. That's the University of Chicago in 2022. So here's the challenge for you this week. Pick one story that you've been stuck in, something that's been disempowering you. Write down the facts, then name the story, and take one action housed in your vision to fulfill on what you really want, an action in reality, not from emotion or reaction, but from your vision and the goals that you have inside of that vision. And if you want my free step-by-step guide to stop waiting to feel motivated and actually get into action right now, all you have to do is click the link in the description and we'll send it right to you. You're not stuck because of your past. I know it seems that way, but you're not. You're stuck because of the story that you keep repeating in your present. And today, you get to let go of all of that.